What's up, you guys? So as I mentioned earlier, we have Blake on the show today. Say hi.
Hello.
So we're going to get on the topic of toxic mothers. I did see a meme the other day that stated, what was it? Toxic mothers can be as, what was it? I don't know, something like as traumatizing as absent fathers, something off the wall like that. But it made me think a lot because a lot of people do bash, absent fathers all the time, and even absent mothers, which is a common thing nowadays, unfortunately. But nobody ever really talks about toxic parents. It's more or less about toxic relationships. So when I heard about toxic parents, I'm like, wow. It just really puts you into a deep thought. Like, a lot of people react and have different situations because of the way they grew up or the relationship they do have with their parents. So I know you've seen the clip with Blac Chyna and her mom.
Yes.
Just a little kitchen clip there. What did you think when you first seen it? Because I know a lot of people were just laughing about it, like, oh my God, well, was she going off her mom? But it's a lot deeper than that.
Yes, I think that it is a lot deeper. We can see how Blac Chyna acts personally in social media wise. So we know that basically we see where it comes from, of like her lack of discipline and the type of character she wants to create for herself. Mm-hmm. But you see she got somebody that's in her ear, that's always been in her ear, that she can't shake because that's somebody that's a part of her. So
the one thing that really caught my attention, because I watched the whole thing thoroughly.
See, I haven't seen it.
The whole thing, just the clip. Okay, no, I watched the whole thing, and her mom kept saying, Chyna kept saying to her mom, like, you were never there, you were always out doing you put guys before me, which happens a lot. But her mom was like, I was there, name one time that I even been there, going back and forth. So I feel like with that, people fail to realize that their kids are looking at them in a different limelight. Your kids are going to look at you differently than you look at yourself.
Period.
So,
and I've always said, to me personally, I feel like a child will know the parent more than the parent will ever know the child. So I feel like with Blac Chyna speaking in a sense of like that, her mom needs to hold accountability to what her child is saying. Because there might be times where you felt like you were there, but it might have been times where she might have needed you more and you weren't.
Yep.
So it's all about accountability. You have to, if you don't hold yourself accountable, you will never be able to move forward through things. Because you never see it from that person's point of view.
Yeah.
If you don't ever see it from that point of view, how can you ever change what you are or unlearn the things that you've done and things like that, or make anything better? It's not going to work that way until you hold accountability.
And what I really like that you said, there's been times where her mom may have been there for her, but she felt like her mom could have been there more. Have you ever been in that situation, or have you felt like, okay, I really need my mom, or, a parent in general, she's not here? Did you reach out to her like, hey, I need you to do more, or did you just, your attitude switched up and you just kind of felt like she needed to know?
Well, me personally, I'm a vocalist, so I feel like I speak how I feel, no matter who it is. Like, I take my time to grasp my thoughts and things like that before I go to a person with everything, so I can make sure that I'm saying things the right way. Like, I don't want to just exude the emotion and then now you have the emotion, instead of us having the intent to understand what I'm saying and you have the intent to have the compassion and empathy to what I'm saying, and that's how you're going to come to terms about it. But I do believe there has been times growing up where I would just shut down and not be able to say anything, but as a parent, I feel like you're supposed to know your child, and you're supposed to want to know your child and like know the difference in your child's everyday to day movements in your home. So that's why I feel like if things could be going that way, like you could take time to look at what's going on with your children instead of living your life. And I know it's give and take, because the parents do want to live their life, so I do believe that they should have a life, but once you have a child, you need to cater to that child. So.
Okay, you guys, we're back. We had to do a little outfit change, get refreshed to finish off the conversation. So we left off talking about basically Blac Chyna and her mother situation, just kind of like as an example, just going off of the video clip, just seeing how her mother was, I don't know, how her mother felt like she wasn't doing anything wrong, and how Blac Chyna was trying to explain to her mother, like, these are faults, these are things you are at fault for, and her mother was taking no fault for anything that they discussed. So then we kind of talked about people's situations around us, just how kids feel versus how the parents look at the kids. So what we're going to talk about now, I guess, is just more or less what the definition of toxic mothers really is. And you don't even have to really say toxic mothers, but toxic women in general. So what do you really think is like the main definition?
Basically something that's bad for you. something that's bad for anybody. Anybody to go through something or deal with something. The toxic is something that couldn't be good for anybody. So.
And do you feel that? I know, obviously, people can change, but do you feel a lot of people will come out of their toxicity, if that's a word? Or do you feel like, because I feel like, in my personal opinion, when I see or kind of feel a vibe from like a toxic person, I just feel like that person, they're not, they don't see it for one, and just like when you do try to express to them, like, your bad energy, it's just like they go off about it. It's just like, it's like a, kind of like a wall, like a toxic wall, really.
Like, yeah, you can't get through to them. Yeah, so I think like because sometimes I feel like a lot of people that are toxic don't ever get called out on their bullshit. So when they do get called out by somebody, they don't know how to take it. Like, so if you live your life a certain way for so long, and then finally now after 32 years, somebody want to say something about it.
Yeah.
Are you really gonna take heed to what they're trying to say to you?
And that makes sense.
More people start coming to you about it, because a lot of people are okay with people living their lives in fucked up ways, basically.
Right, and they don't see nothing wrong with it, so that is understandable. Personally, in my opinion of myself, because I really, like I said, I'm a big fan of self-criticism. I feel like I'm not a toxic mother, but I feel like I have had moments, or even like a phase in my life where I was a poor mom, and I don't mean obviously financially, but just like not an up to par mom how I know I could have been, because I've always been like, obviously I'm not the best mom in the world, but I've always been pretty on top of being a parent, because obviously that's the first priority. But honestly, it was the main thing for me was after my relationship had ended, I guess, I don't know, I don't hate to even admit it, but I was super bitter. Like, I was the bitter baby mother. Super bitter. I was miserable at the time. And I just seen how that affected my kids. And then, my kids will tell me, because they're very blunt kids, they'll let you know what's going on, whatever is going on. And they tell me, like, I don't want to be over here. Like, I want to go with my dad. I want to go with my dad. I want to go with Sadie, which is, I shouldn't have dropped any names. I want to go with my dad's girlfriend. And it would break my heart. And I would cry and cry and cry. And I'm just like, well, why do my kids hate me? And it's just like simple things like, if somebody pissed me off, I'd yell at them for asking me a simple question, because, and I just felt like, I noticed it myself, and I'm like, I can't be like this. So I have to let things go. What I'm saying? I need to really get myself together.
To me, that sounds more like depression. So after your breakup, that you were down, and you acted out through anger. So it was like you acted out, and like that, and your children can feel that. That doesn't necessarily feel like that's toxicity. That's more just like, it was a struggle for you at the time. Like, it's depression. You are still a human being. You wallowed in your depression, and it was thought about yourself. It was it's selfish to be depressed in a sense. Like, but it's because it's all about like how you're feeling and actually not feeling, because you're not allowing yourself to really feel what you want to get over things. So that's a part of being toxic too. Like, it's people are more willing to admit negative traits inside themselves that they exude onto others in their lives, whether it's their children or even people around them. So I don't know, it's all about accountability. At least you're able to hold yourself to a standard to know that I was lacking, I needed to get better, I did get better. So that's how it works. But if you don't ever acknowledge the problem, you can never get through the issues. So it's always going to be the same thing. It's going to just be a repeated cycle in yourself and anybody you come around. You always going to have a motive. Like, that's to me is toxic people. Like, you're just not genuine at all. Like, that's not a genuine or a toxic person at all.
A lot of people's experiences is what makes them in general. Obviously, your upbringing does, but like experiences in general, things you go through. Like you said, like my breakup itself made me a bitter person. I'm not afraid to admit that to people. And like when I do tell people that, they think I'm crazy. Like, you're not bitter. Like, I'm bitter because
I was.
Right, because like I feel some type of way about certain situations. I react quickly and poorly on certain situations. That's bitter. I'm mad, and I'm mad about certain situations I have no business being mad about. That's being bitter. No, I'm not busting windows out or doing crazy things.
But we think about them. No.
Okay, right. I'm like, sure, go over there. No, but not that toxic, not that pissed. But I definitely have felt that way where I just feel poorly about myself.
Another thing I feel like could be toxic also could be that when parents have a visual for their child and it does not follow what they felt, like the child does not follow the script basically of how they envision their life for their child, and they just always forcing things on them, making them do things or against who they are as a person. That's also could be a part of toxicness. I feel like, you know, parents do have a visual for their child. Like, I want my child to go to this college, blah, blah, blah. No, you gonna go to this school, you know, they have their act and stuff like that, and in retrospect like that. So forcing things upon your child could be very toxic as well. Not loving your child in the ways they need to be loved is toxic. When your child comes to you and tells you about your negative traits, not wanting to hear them out and brushing them off is toxic.
I think in general, if your child is not talking to you, and it doesn't matter what age, because my kids are 5 and my youngest will be 3 next week, but they talk to me like, and I like sometimes I'll sit there amazed like, y'all is real little humans, aren't you? Like, aren't y'all? Because they be telling me about myself.
This is why I want a child and don't want one at the same time. I'm scared to have my personality running around, and I just, the emotions that come with having a child. Like, I am not always emotionally equipped, so I know as a parent I wouldn't handle things always in the assertive way. So I could be a toxic parent before.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This was fun. You know, we had our little outfit change. We made it happen. Again, you guys, talk to your kids.
Love your kids.
Period. Because, and if somebody's toxic in your life, again, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to let people go. It's okay to love people from a distance. But try to, I shouldn't even say try to want to help them. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. And when I say speak your mind, I don't mean bluntly and being rude. Just say, hey, I have some things I want to bring up to your attention. Obviously, you don't have to take fault for it, but it's something that I want to get off my chest. Period. That can be the end of the discussion.
Or always make sure you go at the situation, and the situation maybe be like, I feel hurt behind something that you've done to me that I feel like I can't get over, and then speak it that way. Because I mean, approach is everything to any situation. So if you want somebody to hear you out and understand you, approach them with caution. In the sense of like, you don't know how they're going to take anything that you say, because you can only be held accountable for what you say, not for what they understand. So,
and with that being said, don't become upset when their approach back to you isn't what you expected. Because I've been like that. I'm a very genuine person. I'm a very nice person. So I have approached people in certain manners, like, hey, you know, this is how I'm feeling. You really hurt my feelings, and they'll say like,
and they still don't take it
F you, you know what I'm saying? Okay, now I'm mad again.
Now
you know,
darts,
so
now you're throwing darts.
Just take that. Just take that, and you did your part. Know you did your part, and walk away with it. So again, I thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for more to come. And if you guys ever have any topics you want to talk about or anything you want to discuss, like, hit me up. Let's get this going. Let's have a discussion, okay? See you guys next time.